2017 Hot 6 GSL Season 1 Code S Round of 16.
It's time for the final day, the round of 16 in the GSL Code S. sOs is back here again, and we have the high ground advantage today.
That's right. High ground advantage.
That's right. We are moved up to our balcony position, so there'll be some StarCraft.
Well, we can see everybody, but I don't think anyone down there has an observer, so we are basically,
we are fine up here.
Yeah, we're doing great.
And there's also going to be some StarCraft 1 later on tonight.
Yeah, the team battle.
That's right, casted by Artosis and Rapid. And that means if there are any audience members firing up here, they will have a 25% chance of missing you two commentators.
It's actually 50, or very close to 50. Yeah, it always said it was like 30 or so. But
it does feel like it's 50 when you play.
Yeah.
Okay,
it just said the
sense.
wrong number on the site, but yeah. Anyways,
excuse me. It is Saturday afternoon. This broadcast is aimed for the country North America.
Yes.
The greatest country on earth.
The greatest country.
With states like Canada, Mexico,
Belize,
Panama, and of course, the United States of awesome.
Yes.
So guys, this should be around Friday night your time. Thank you for joining us. We wanted to make sure we didn't just hit, the Korean time zones and the time zone of Europe, but also the country of North America.
Yeah, it's an important thing to hit on. And as you saw, that was the schedule.
That's right.
That side of the bracket being played next Wednesday that we will be here for. I believe our plane leaves too early on Saturday, so probably will not be able to cast that. Sorry, guys.
Unfortunately so.
For IM,
they are not able to clone us yet. Just like sOs is running around casting up all the games.
We can't have the Tasteless clones at least in multiple places at once. Tasteless doesn't know he's a clone. It's like Moon.
They're working on Tasteless AIs right now, but it's not quite there yet.
But this is a nice little group today. 3 Terrans and a Protoss. sOs. La Cucaracha himself. And that's going to be pretty sick. Him and Maru both in the group, and then a couple Terrans that are considered a little bit weaker than a lot of the other ones. But, KeeN, I think, overall would be considered like the weakest player in the round of 16. Oh, there's a video. Never mind. I'll shut up.
한 방씩만 쏴도 계속해서 이러면 쫓아갈 수 없어요. 말도 안 되는 컨트롤 나와야 됩니다. 근데 지금 그 양 선수의 진영을 보더라도 좀 더 넓은 쪽이 KeeN 선수고요. 유리한 자리를 계속 먼저 점유하고 있습니다. 공격기도
김유진 선수는 토끼 3대장 그 변함 없어요?
네, 다행히 아직 토끼들이 살아있더라고요.
토끼들 살아있고요.
네.
욕심나는 토끼 계세요? 사이다 토끼. 예.
그 시드자 중 분들에서 김지준 선수가 제일 편한 것 같아서. 네, 자꾸 토끼 하시는데 엽기 토끼일 수도 있거든요, 이게. 이게 몰라요, 이게. 재밌네요.
기세가 좋다 보니까.
예.
한국에서 토끼가 아니다?
황교석. 와, 오늘 도발 대성공이에요.
아니,
만족하고요. 제가 또 바로 시드자건들 지나면 제가 또 바로 뽑을 수 있잖아요.
그렇죠. 이따가는.
네, 그 부분이 일단 제일 마음에 드는 것 같아요.
못 들었거든요.
그렇죠.
방패 안 찔 텐데 거신도 많긴 많아요. 위쪽에 또 한 개 있어서 버티도 있어 보이거든요. 근데 방패가 녹았어요. 거신 3개. 아니 이거 방패 안 들었어요.
자, 여기도 거진 녹았고 뒤에 지뢰.
자, 그래서 지뢰가 변수가 좀 있습니다. FAQ가 눌렀거든요. FAQ 눌러서 어떻게든 막으면 이긴다. 근데 저 관제사 다 죽으면 지뢰 못 보죠. FA 눌러서 대상이 타고요.
그렇죠. 가다가 맞아요.
지뢰
때문에
주성욱이 스스로 자신 눈을 때려버렸어요.
예, 자, 여기 끌어당기다가 지뢰가 좀 터졌거든요.
아니 자수관이가 유망주를 다시 한번 지금
지뢰까지
올라가겠는데요. 기계 투대 들어오고
안 보여요. 눈을 뜨고 싶은데 뜰 수가 없어요.
치즈.
선수가 원하던 조가 될 것 같아요. 토끼가 될 것 같네요.
아, 그래요?
저그 토끼로 갈지 테란 토끼로 갈지 그걸 고민 중이라.
자, 그럼 마이크 이재선 선수에게 넘겨보겠습니다. 그룹 D 개인적으로 어떻게 생각하세요?
저는 B조나 C조.
이동영 말고 이재선. 둘 다 토끼예요? 포켓몬 플러스 원이에요?
대여병이 그새
예, 이재선 선수 아니 잠깐만요. 이재선인데. 잠깐만요. 와 대박인데요? 그럼 개인적으로 지금 황규석 선수 어떻게 생각하세요?
토끼 그냥.
그냥 토끼예요? 토끼 그 자체?
네.
비조도 토끼면은 네. 저도 토끼니까 토끼 셋 중에 하나는 살 수 있지 않을까 해가지고
D조에 가고 싶으신 분 안 계세요? 이신영. 맞아 이신영이.
거기보다는 그냥 토끼 2마리 있는 조가 더 탐나네요.
오.
사장은 필요 없고요.
토끼 2명 중에 2마리죠.
네, 두 마리 중에.
한 마리를 잡으러 가야 될 것 같네요.
네, 알겠습니다. 그럼
건이 그 자체를 뽑을 수 있죠. 토끼 그 자체.
역시
리얼 토끼 가야죠.
네.
우승한 것 같아요.
우승한 것 같아요. 예, 지뢰 안 치고하는 것 순간 반응 속도도 뛰어난 이재선이에요.
네, 게다가 맵 여기저기에 감지탑도 지어지면
이거 힘싸움에서 밀리는데요.
저그는 병력 어디 한 번에 볼릴 수 없어요. 아니 걸어다니 길마다 모든 CCTV인데 어떻게 병력 볼리나요?
맹독충이 불곰에 계속 들이받고 있잖아요.
네.
그냥 저거 자체가 이재선 선수 입장에서는 원하는 소금.
들어간 자리 또 깔잖아요. 이제 멈추지 않습니다. 공격이요.
와 이걸 또 보고
와, 대기하고. 야, 이거 좀 세게 막네요. 가진 게 많다 보니까 프랜차이즈가 많다 보니까.
만나갑니다.
자, 그럼 이거는 자기 본의 아니게. 자, 어떤 조 들어가고 싶으세요?
D조예요.
D조요? D조 가면 어떻게 잘할 수 있어요?
네, 잘할 것 같아요.
중에서 누구 뽑고 싶으세요?
없어요.
없어요? 없어요?
이대로 3명으로 그냥 가고
네,
싶어요.
이렇게 세 명으로 가고 싶어요?
네.
너무 싫어요?
이재선 선수 울겠는데요.
지금 올라고 그래요 지금요.
눈이 빨개졌어요.
만약에 거기 들어가면 무조건 직행입니까?
일단 유진이 형 올려 보내고
예.
생각해 보도록 하겠습니다.
그 우선은 자 골라주세요. 자 과연 누굴 데리고 올지?
누굴
어떤
뽑을까요?
선수를 데리고 올까? 과연
모르겠는데
야, 역시
자신감.
자신감이지요.
있거든요. 전멸했어요.
갔어요. 자 1분까지 동원하면서 이병력 몰아냅니까? 뚫어내 김준호인데 또 나와요. 뒤가 없어요.
프로토스 한 마리도 없어서 올인이잖아요.
파괴됐거든요. 확장 복구다라고 하는데요. 들어갔던 병력도 파괴됐으며 불을 끼웠습니다.
이거 그냥 신나게 어때 딱 찍으면 되는 거죠.
들어가면서 이번 경기 16강 갑니까?
다시 돌아온 수성주가 일본 진전입니다.
피지컬 체제 32강에서 가볍게 16강으로 올라가. 자 이렇게 결정이 됐습니다. 과연 어떤 대결이 펼쳐지게 될지 계속해서 펼쳐지는 핫식스 GSL 코데스.
All right, we are going to go to the interview now.
김유진 선수의
Artosis, tell us what they're saying.
이야기할 수 있었던 건
We call Group D the Rabbit Group.
That's because they were joking that KeeN looks like a little bit like a rabbit. Of course, we have one player named Bunny.
And
네. 자, 지난 시즌
everyone's saying hello. Also, I think they just referred to the weaker players as rabbits in the group selection. Talk to SOS first. He's a seeded player. How's your condition today?
피곤하긴 한데 이건
네.
모든 선수가 똑같을 테니
Well, my haircut.
나쁘지 않을 것 같아요.
네. 자, 오늘 김유진 선수의 토끼
We're playing in the daytime, so I'm a little bit tired, but I think everyone's a little bit tired, so it's fine.
토끼인 줄 알았는데
All your opponents are Terrans.
토끼가 아니더라고요.
How is your practice against Terran going?
그래서 살짝 좀 걱정이 되긴 하는데 그래도 연습을 좀 열심히 했기
A little
때문에
worried.
후배 없는 게임은 할
practiced
수
a lot.
있을 것 같아요.
네, 오늘 팀원인 조성주 선수도 있어요.
네.
조성주 선수도 토끼로
I
보세요.
think I can pull out my best play
저는
today.
원래 데려올 생각도 없었는데
Mara's a rabbit Terran as
그냥
well.
마지막에 남았으니까 어쩔 수 없이 왔던 것 같아요.
그렇죠. 자,
Well, I wouldn't
이재선
pick him,
선수와
but
황규석
he was the only one
선수는
left.
같은
So there wasn't really any choice.
출발해서 나란히 16강에 진출을 했죠.
Pass the
저는
mic over to
이재선
Bunny.
선수가 아이디가 버니이긴 해도 이렇게 토끼토끼 스스로 하실 줄은 몰랐어요. 주성욱 이병렬 잡고 1위로 올라오셨잖아요.
He was a game ID
그래도
Bunny.
토끼예요?
I didn't expect he'd call himself a rabbit.
까지 한 게
네.
누가 봐도 토끼니까 그냥 인정하고 제가 앞으로 보여드리면 되는 거니까.
네.
Well, I haven't really done anything impressive result-wise in the
걱정하지
past,
않겠지만
so
테란전 승률이 조금
So
낮기
it's acceptable to call me a
특히
rabbit.
조성주 선수와의 이 압도적인 차이. 또 어떻게 조성주 선수 전 많이 준비를 하셨는지 궁금하거든요.
제가 항상
your Terran vs. Terran win rate isn't really all that good. How was your preparation for that?
이겨보고 싶었어요.
Because you do have to play Maru.
항상 성주랑 할 때마다 연습 때
네.
되게 많이
Yeah,
노력했었는데
I've
항상
never actually won against Maru.
처참히 졌었거든요. 근데
네.
오늘은
I've always had hope
그때보다도
to
더
win at least one time
열심히
against him.
준비했으니까
네.
한번 저를 믿어보려고요.
네, 저희도 믿고 있겠습니다.
But this time I
자,
really,
황민석 선수.
really practiced hard and
네,
prepared a
조진명
lot.
씨 엽기 토끼가 될 수도 있다 이렇게 이야기하시기도 했어요. 참 센스 있는 발언이셨는데 오늘 준비 잘
Well, let's
되셨어요?
talk to KeeN a little bit.
네, 일단 준비는 있는 시간 최대한 잘 활용한 것 같고요.
You know,
네, 일단 오늘 경기를
everyone's been calling you Rabbit, but
오늘
you can be an
가장
angry rabbit.
견제하고 있는 선수.
Like that Monty Python rabbit.
아무래도 첫 경기인 김예진
What do you think about these games today?
제일 경기하고 있죠.
그렇군요. 그 옆에 조성주 선수와도 이야기 나눠볼게요.
Your first opponent,
사실상
SOS,
오늘
is going to be the hardest
함께
match for him
뛰고 있긴
today.
하지만 그래도 알고 보면 D조의 호랑이다 이렇게 보는 사람이 많습니다. 오늘 준비 잘 되셨어요?
Mario, you're in a rabbit group,
태전이라서
but everyone knows that you're a lion.
태태전 걱정이 돼요.
네.
확실히
Well,
조금
since I don't like
압도적인
TVT
태태전
matches,
승률이
I'm
대결
worried.
끝이
There
의외로
could be a lot of
떨어지고
TVT
있긴
tonight.
해요. 그래도 저는 자신감 있으실 것 같은데 많이 높잖아요 승률이.
왜 높은지 모르겠어가지고.
But you're Maru. You're one of the best Terrans. Shouldn't you be confident?
그러면 오늘 한 명 있는 이 프로토스 전보다 연습
He said it's up to his condition. And as we know from Maru interviews, that's never above 40%.
스테란이 올라가기 때문에
네.
열심히 했던
What do you
것
think about team kills today? You might
자,
meet
오늘
SOS.
D조에서 과연 살아 올라갈 선수들은 누구일지
Yeah, I hope to
정말
make it
기대가
through
되는데요.
first.
자, 이제 마지막 8강 진출자를 가리는
Like I said,
경기죠. 오늘
you know,
경기
I'll think
각오를
about it later.
들어보겠습니다.
I guess he says he'll let
조성주
SOS
선수
through first.
제가 16강에서 요즘 들어
So here we make it, we figure out who are going to be the last two players in the round.
이번에 올라가면 2년 만이에요.
Let's see what their final scores are.
오늘 각오 들려주시죠.
네, 오랜만에 이 자리까지 올라온
Maru says, I will make it through to the round of 8 in 2 years.
자,
Or
최근
to
GSL
second place,
성적으로는
maybe.
김유진 선수가 가장 높거든요.
KeeN says, since I made it to the round of 16, I want to make it even higher.
인 만큼 꼭 올라갈 수 있도록 하겠습니다.
네, 자 이번 시즌도 기대를 해볼게요.
SOS says, as he planned this whole group,
열심히 준비했으니까 한번
it came out successfully, so I have to make it through.
자,
And my
이렇게
name is La
16강의
Cucaracha, and I will never die.
오늘 경기 본격적으로
And Bunny
시작하겠습니다.
says, you know, look out for me.
Okay, that does it for our interview. We are now moments away from starting game number 1. It will be KeeN versus SOS, a best of 3 in a fight to get to the winner's match. Guys, tell your friends to join us. We're still getting our friends
We're warming up this time slot.
in North America to tune in. This is for you guys. We want GSL to be for everybody.
Yeah, and it really should be. I mean, this should have been in the Constitution of North America that Benjamin Franklin wrote.
Yeah,
You know,
Benjamin
about
Franklin
like
definitely
freedom
would have been a
of
StarCraft guy
press
too.
and firearms and GSL Code S. But unfortunately, even though he invented a lot of things, he didn't invent StarCraft or computers or the internet or GSL Code S. So like, I mean, he was like okay, but really Mr. Che is more impressive. Blizzard's a bit more impressive as well, I have to say. So, you know, he made some mistakes, but hopefully we can eventually get that written in, as this is one of the basic rights of humanity is to watch this tournament.
It's Friday night for you guys. It's time to order a pizza. Go get a beer. It's the cheat day.
It is the cheat
It's the
day.
cheat day.
It should be.
All right.
Friday night. You just got
Does
off
of donuts.
work.
Pizza
or-
rolls, quite good, by
Yeah.
the way. If you don't, you got any of those you can make, send us a picture of
Well, I
your.
don't know. Pizza. I don't know if I'd go as far as to say pizza rolls are quite good, but
Oh, pizza rolls are so good. Are you serious?
Oh my god!
I had
No,
to ban myself
the
from buying
Celeste
that out here.
pizzas for one were my thing. The
Oh,
veggie
yeah.
ones, the like super veggie ones, I would just microwave them. Oh my god, tasteless!
So
I miss
good.
them. They don't have those out
Yeah.
here.
So, send us a little picture of maybe what you're eating on Friday night or what you're drinking.
And if anyone's eating rabbit, kudos to you, because
Yeah.
that's what SOS is about to munch on.
SOS is looking to get his lucky rabbit's foot. Maybe 2 of them coming out here.
Takes both KeeN's hands too. It's like, oh, oh man. But this man KeeN, I mean, this guy's a very old school player. He's always been good. This is a big resurgence for him, and he did take out Zest, which was impressive. But that was like during the time of the biggest swing and bounce we've seen in Protoss vs. Terran in very many years, right? Terran win rate at that moment was like super high. Protosses are having a hard time. So is he going to be able to do that tonight against SOS? I don't know, man. Like, it seems like he is just kind of the weakest player in the round of 16 overall. What do you think about that, Tasteless?
I think that everything you say is perfect and wonderful, and music to my ears, Artosis.
That's right.
In this match, we're going to be going to Newkirk Precinct then Proxima Station, then Abyssal Reef. Keep in mind, SOS only had to be prepped against Terran.
Yeah.
I feel like SOS is easily one of the hardest players to ever go against.
Oh, yes.
Ever in StarCraft 2. I mean, he is just so phenomenally good.
Okay, yeah, this is super true. One thing I do want to point out, though, I have more confidence versus SOS the better player you put him against because he gets in people's brains so well.
Yeah,
you put him against
super
Innovation, I almost feel like he'd have the better chance against Innovation than KeeN in a way because he can predict everything Innovation is going to do. He knows exactly the thoughts Innovation will have. Like, if you put SOS against just like a random, right, and he tries to play his strategies where like you're supposed to scout this and think this and you don't, you know, and you don't react correctly, that could screw up what he's doing sometimes because he does get really deep in mind games. So
You're very correct.
I almost feel like KeeN has an okay shot because he's like a little bit more unpredictable.
Also, I think KeeN doesn't have anything to lose in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
These people in his group are very good. He already did it once. He could try again. Our map is now loaded up. Guys, tell your friends to join us here in the GSL Code Asses. We are starting our first best of 3 tonight. SOS versus KeeN. In the bottom left, in the blue, he is
Jin Air Green Wings, SOS.
in the bottom right, in the red, he is
Team Li Feng, KeeN.
They should make a Stalker skin where it has 2 more legs for SOS.
Yeah.
It's got 6 legs. When it blinks, it just looks like a rapid crawl.
How many legs does a cockroach have?
6.
It's 6, not 8?
No.
Okay. Spiders have 8, right?
Spiders have 8.
When you're not around your daughter or Tosis, I get to ask you all the same questions a little
Yeah.
kid would ask anyways. Welcome back to the studio, friend.
Yeah, a pretty good turnout here today. Of course, as mentioned before, we are upstairs today because ASL Team Battle is coming up very quickly after Codas. It starts at 7 p.m. tonight, and this will probably end 4:35, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
should be. But our studio fills up pretty heavily for any StarCraft 1 stuff.
Yeah, and we get really excellent crowds for StarCraft 2, better than we've gotten since the beginning of GSL this year.
Yeah, it's actually been on the rise. One thing to note is I'm wondering how many people are going to come down to the studio and think they can't get in because of the construction outside.
Yeah, you actually have to walk around the back door.
Thanks for coming down, guys. Welcome to the studio.
Oh, the zergling little thing. My daughter has that, and she thinks it's a puppy.
Her childhood is going to be rocked, man, when she finds out that's not a puppy at all.
I show her it. She's like, she knows that it's not. She says that it looks like a puppy, basically. Like when she watches StarCraft, and she's like, I like those little ones, Dada. I'm like, oh, the Zerglings? Yeah, they look like puppies. But, okay, let's take a look at what SOS might be up to here.
He's putting a probe up here.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to hide anything there. Never count SOS out of doing anything a little bit weird as far as hiding stuff.
That's a location where the Reaper just won't find it as well. So like he can just go back and scout whatever he wants to scout. He sees the Reaper here, but he's not sending the probe back in to see the timing of any buildings. So that's kind of interesting. Not sure what he's going to end up doing with that.
We have the Robo Bay now starting here. Nothing built with that probe hidden out there on the map. In fact, that probe is now turning around. A little bit of a dance happening here between the Reaper and the Mothership Core and Stalker now.
I think he's going to proxy a pylon, maybe Tasteless. This could be something like, because there's a Robo on the way, right? And another Stalker. This could be like one of those Prism 4-gate type builds like Myung-Shik likes.
I think that's what we might be seeing right here.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, even though SOS only has 1 match he has to prepare for, he's probably going to have to show a really big variety of builds.
Yeah, he really is.
SOS can win in a pretty normal game, but I feel like the majority of his wins are just really strategically brilliant plays. Which means you can't be doing the same strat over and over and over and over again. You do have to mix it up, and thankfully for SOS, he is capable of doing that. Looks like the Reaper does finally go down, and we have a Raven coming here for the Terran, Artosis.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, obviously Ravens can be very useful for harassment, but this is going to be a 4-gate with Observer, and the fact that he saw 2 Stalkers this early, that screams craziness. And look at this, the Marine actually already going out to scout for this. Did he see that?
Wait,
Did
he had
see
to have seen that.
He must have. He
Wait,
must.
can we get a vision check?
I hope so.
Why do we not?
Are we just not going to get a vision check?
Okay, we don't know yet.
I think he saw it. He's
I'm
making
assuming
a bunker.
he did.
He has to have seen
He
it.
knows. Okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, just seeing the two stalkers sets off all your radars. Like, to use that much gas early on, normally you just get, adepts to hold everything off. But this is quite a few stalkers here. And, of course, he has an observer, but that Raven there could help pick it off. Siege Tank on the way, Liberator as well.
Okay, that's going to hit the first probe. Oh, what?
Oh, he doesn't get it set off with that probe. That's actually kind of a big deal. Look at that, he's trying to pick it off. Oh, he gets it! That is such a big deal.
KeeN.
Oh, my God.
That was good.
And SOS has to get something done here.
Yeah, you can't just be like, okay, I'll go back and expand.
Yeah, you don't make 4 gateways and 7 stalkers with 0 damage output and win a game against Terran on this map. It's not going to happen. Like, if he just makes 2 siege tanks and goes, you're going to fight all that off with stalkers without blink? And even with blink, you wouldn't. It
gets even worse, Artos, is because he's going to have a Liberator over here, and there's a very high chance that the stalkers will be warped in at that proxy pylon and not in the main. And even with a mothership core, there's not that much you can do to try to fight this off once you just go around the pylons.
Exactly. Like, this is, KeeN is in a good spot right now, Tastes. I am loving where he's at. Okay, it takes away 2 patches here, which really takes away even more than that. And that's a very well-placed one as well. He can't... SOS cannot do anything with these stalkers. He has to just try to slow everything down. Look, he's even had to warp in more stalkers, which is a unit you don't want against these tank pushes.
Yeah, there's now 2 tanks over here, the Raven and the Marines. I just don't think SOS is going to get in there. This has gone absolutely brilliantly for KeeN here.
Yeah. Like, he could be waiting for 3-4 tanks. You sometimes see Terrans do that, but, like, this tank-based push is going to be so hard for SOS to actually hold on against. Like, his unit set just doesn't really fight against this well. He's making Colossus, sure, but this is a little bit late to start those.
Another Liberator comes down here, now denying 3 patches over here for the Protoss. Actually, I guess 2, just depending on the angle. A frustrating moment here for SOS, but KeeN did everything he was supposed to do back here. And so far, Protoss is really just getting punished. Yeah. When you do anything that's a bit dramatic like what SOS is doing, SOS hoping to either kill or really badly cripple the Terran. If you are denied in what is a pretty brilliant but simple way, the Terran held that off, you're just in a horrible spot. The siege tank push coming out here, the stalkers obviously have to retreat. There's no way they can take on this army.
Yeah, and KeeN actually sieged up and is starting a 3rd, but I really want to see him actually just go across the map and attack right now.
I agree.
Like, this army set just beat... Like, there's not even, like, a tech route, really, that SOS could go down creatively to make this attack not be efficient by KeeN.
Okay, he's denied that SCV mining over there. SOS needs to do everything he possibly can to slow this down. Good job. Takes out the medevac. By the way, that siege tank splash, I think, was hitting some of those Marines back there for a little bit. Yeah, medevac was healing it up. I could not agree with you more, though, Artos. I think a push is absolutely necessary.
Yeah. And he is going for that.
Okay, it's 2 stalkers warping in underneath this Liberator. Liberator now backing up. Meanwhile, the Warp Prism could be going down.
Ooh, that was a very well-placed turret. Catches the retreating Liberator right here. So he's picked off some very important and expensive units. It's some good micro there by SOS, some good unit positioning as well. And he does have Colossus range. So KeeN took a little bit of a long time to get here. And with 2 Colossus, SOS might be able to hold on, Tasteless.
Okay, we see the Adepts shading forward now. And he's not going to commit just yet. There's a Colossus in the background. The Nexus is in range of being receiving a lot of damage here. That does put a clock on how long SOS can stay back for. He will eventually have to attack. There's an obstruction at the top center of our screen. That's going to make it a little bit trickier for Protoss to get through here without Terran optimizing the splash damage in that small area. Here we go!
All right, he is going for it, dropping off a couple of depths. The Glaive's just barely not done here. Auto turrets flying down very quickly. The siege tanks getting some pretty insane value, but this is some great Prism micro as well.
Looks like this Adept upgrade is going to finish the moment there are no longer any Adepts here. However, SOS does have enough. I think having the extra Liberator there would have helped out quite a bit.
Yeah.
Even though it looked like an anti-timing in the defense there for SOS, he still cleans up that army. And this does put KeeN back in an odd spot.
Yeah, I like SOS's position now that this has happened like this, but I do feel like KeeN was way too slow on his push. As soon as he was done this third siege tank, if he was going for exactly 3, I feel like he should be moving out. Yeah, Stim wasn't 100% done, but I mean, if you're hitting before Thermal Lance is done, you're hitting them when they have 1 Colossus, maybe 2. That is so different than 3 with Thermal Lance.
Protoss can't combat the Terran army when it gets to a certain point unless they have that splash damage, and the Colossus is key there. But because... Whoa! Nice. It stays alive at 11 HP. That was a full medevac. But let's see how this counter push goes here.
Nice flank here by KeeN, just kind of, well, not exactly a flank, but a nice arc coming in, and now SOS getting a little bit trapped. Was this an overextension? It's starting to look like it was. An auto turret come down as well. Everything's starting to get slaughtered off.
This has been a real seesaw game, back and forth here. Terran does appear to have enough. Maybe SOS should not have counterattacked and instead try to build up a little bit more. Let's see if KeeN now once again pushes across the map trying to hit his opponent. When you lose that number of Colossi, you are resetting it. They don't have 2 Robos out. Even if they do have 2 Robos out, taking out a group of Colossi is a pretty big blow. It's not like Stalkers, you can just warp them all in at once if you have the money.
This is getting really bad for SOS after losing that. Like, I understand that he crushed an army so he wanted to attack, but he didn't really have the bulk he needed. I feel like he did that because he had no upgrades, and he's like, let me see if I can, do a mortal wound, like get a knife in his thigh, something like that. But
his femoral artery?
Yeah, I mean, if that works out, it's great, but, I mean, KeeN is sitting here with a 2 upgrade advantage and just cleared the Colossus count. This is a really bad place for SOS.
This may be the point of no return for SOS. When you're behind in upgrades, I mean, there's no quick fix for when you're behind like this in upgrades.
Yeah.
You just have to last for a long time and deflect all their attacks, and I really don't think you can ever attack when you're this low on upgrades.
No, yeah.
But let's see, it's SOS. He's going to push out again here. He's got a Warp Prism. He's got 2 Colossi. They'll need to have the right angling set up.
Okay, I mean, maybe with great force fields you can force something nice to happen here, but 4 Vikings coming up, the Liberator's kind of sieging this area so he can't walk too close. It's okay if he's postures here, but I don't think he can actually kill KeeN.
Vikings overextending a little bit, 2 shaved off. A lot of Liberators here. He needs to get in poking range of that command center. Looks like this is the location right now. And this is so much damage on the command center. I mean, somebody has to act quickly. KeeN actually has to try to push up. These Colossi can keep hitting this. As much as you want to edge forward here with those Liberators, the Stalkers and the Colossi can keep rotating around it with ease.
Yeah, this is a nice army movement from SOS as well. He's forcing the Liberators to move. He's picking off any units that he possibly can. He's got a lot of Adepts to actually shield the Colossus when they attack in, but the Viking count is getting a bit higher here.
Stalkers come forward, take out 1 Liberator, continuing to rotate up and down over here. Right now, SOS at 180 supply. The Terran is having a very tough time getting the right angle here. These Vikings could try to poke in and get this Colossus at the bottom of the army.
Well, he keeps pumping out the Vikings as well, so when he has enough, it's going to be just brutal. If those Colossus go down, you really need the splash damage to offset some of these upgrades.
Guardian Shield is activated. The army is up here without the help of the Liberators. Colossi continuing to do that splash damage to so many of these Marauders. Now that the Colossi are gone, how much does Terran have left? Vikings land as 1 more Colossi comes into play.
Yeah, that Colossi really going to help out a lot. The Vikings go back into the air, and KeeN's still going to hold this off, still push it back.
I got to say, a lot of that just came down to Terran's upgrades. Terran was just a lot stronger. I think Protoss could have won that if Terran hadn't been so diligent about staying on top of all those all those upgrades, man.
Yeah, I believe he's at 2-1. Yeah, he's at 2-1, and SOS only has that +1 attack, so this is a huge, huge difference when you have this many units fighting.
With Marauders and a lot of medevacs, having an additional armor on them, with so many medevacs healing them, they have a lot more sustain in a fight like that.
Yeah, like
Marauders are much more beefy than Marines, where if they just hit enough at one moment, they die, no matter how upgraded they are.
The real counter to your opponent having an upgrade advantage would be like defensive postures and splash damage. And once the Colossus were gone, it's like, well, the Adepts are not going to chew through these 2-1 Marauders with medevacs. It's not going to really happen.
Yeah, Adept Stalker is not. It's not that strong.
Yeah.
I mean, with all these shots being individually traded back and forth here. Now, KeeN continuing to come forward here. These Stalkers just too brittle against this upgraded army to stand much of a chance.
SOS is in a lot of trouble. This Marauder arc going to be able to take out everything. The Vikings even landing to add in their damage as well. And SOS has nothing left here, Tasteless. KeeN is going to be able to take game number 1.
And this is another big upset here today. The Colossi coming down now. Another one. Vikings, though, already doing a good amount of damage. Does he have enough to hang on?
Oh, man. A mule was dropped, so if he doesn't win right there, GG.
GG. KeeN wins game number 1 against SOS.
Look, I think KeeN played pretty well overall. I think he did miss an attack timing with the 3 siege tanks before any thermal lance could have been done or anything.
Yeah.
But SOS, when he did the counterattack with the Colossi after killing the initial army and just got surrounded and lost his whole army, I feel like that was the big blunder for him, basically. Like, he didn't have enough units to shelter, you know, all of his splash damage. And from there, it's very tough to rebuild such a technical army, especially when the Viking count is already pretty high.
Well, let's also point out that KeeN did a really good job holding off that weird opening from SOS.
Yeah.
SOS didn't do a single % of damage.
Yeah. He did 0. He lost an observer and just sat there.
And then was behind.
Yeah. Well, without the observer, it's like, well, yeah, I guess I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
All right.
That is the bane of Protoss a lot of times in games where you can look at some games and be like, what really happened here? It's like, he lost his observer.
Yeah.
You just can't afford to do that in so many moments with Protoss, especially the first one that comes out. So we are now going into game number 2. KeeN with a 1-0 lead versus SOS. In the upper right, in the blue.
Jin Air Green Wings, SOS.
It's going to be a fun map for him. We'll talk about that in just a second.
The cucaracha.
He's being stomped on now.
Yeah. In the bottom left, in the red, he is.
Team Lifeng, KeeN.
Okay. Look, the Cucaracha here has sent out an extremely early probe.
Yes, he has. Already hitting this SCV, making the barracks.
Yeah,
although it may just be sent out purely to scout.
Yeah, it could be to try to slow the racks slightly and do a pylon rush, but it doesn't necessarily have to be, especially with where he places gateway. It's like way up at his ramp, so if he rallies a Zealot, it gets there very fast. But we'll see here in a second.
Yeah, let's see what he's got in store for us.
Okay, he does just go for the Nexus, so it was just like a really fast scout. I was wondering, because he chose this map, and I think it's an okay map for PvT for sure, but Zest specifically has been doing a lot of all-ins on this map. There's ones that I feel like SOS would like, where there's like a spot behind the third where you can proxy a Stargate, and Terran just can't walk out to it. It's like too far away.
Yeah, it's in too much of an obscure location by ground.
But it's so close by air that like if you go Oracle into a Void Ray all-in, it like, I mean, it's pretty scary. I've seen Zest do some crazy plays with that, and it seems like very SOS-ish, but so far, he's just, well, he steals the gas. Okay, there we go. There's my SOS.
You never want to count SOS out in moments like this, but taking the gas is interesting.
You don't see that often in this matchup.
This is the best way to spend a Saturday, guys.
It truly is.
This is the greatest way to spend a Saturday.
Get some nice food, sit down, watch some GSL in the studio. It's a really nice studio. Everyone's really friendly.
Yeah. Well, you know, we can never count SOS out from doing something like a gas steal. I think, you know, SOS really does embody Protoss in the most abusive way that we've seen. You know, I mean, I think the early Protoss God, Emperor, King was MC.
Yeah, for sure.
But, I mean, Protoss, it's always been like this. The longer a game is out, the more crazy stuff we figure out that Protoss can do. It really is just kind of fascinating, flexible, you know, almost like putty-like race. You know what I mean? You can actually shape it to do all sorts of different things. And SOS is always, I guess, well, not always, but since he really started to get on top, he's been somebody who's really understood that. Not that, you know, we've had people like Rain who are very solid and play a lot of Protoss games, and it almost looks like he's playing as Terran. But SOS really gets it. That doesn't mean that I'm by the way, not saying Protoss is like the strongest race, but it is an interesting race in the sense that there's this really crazy stuff you can do. Once you start to understand Terran and Zerg especially, and how they're operating, there's so many cool things you could pull off.
Yeah, there's like a lot of dangerous stuff you can do, and it can get backed up by a very strong late game as well. But, you know, that can be a double-edged blade. There's a reason why SOS is a 2-time world champion, but, like, sometimes isn't stable enough to even get deep in a GSL. Like, he either wins the world championship or doesn't even qualify to get there. Because there's a lot of variance when you're doing moves like that where it's like, okay, well, if this mind game doesn't work or this crazy proxy doesn't work, I guess you're dead, you know?
Yeah, he reminds me of this weird hybrid of the two Brood War players who were just godlike with Protoss, which would be Stork and Null Ra. He's like a hybrid of those two.
Okay.
Stork had just really good builds. Usually got it ahead. And then Null Ra was pretty solid, but he could do like the craziest stuff. Like you can only do this strategy once.
Yeah, totally. He's very much like Null Ra. And the thing is, like him as well, like he can do macro play. He can't just do a macro play. And, like, look here. He's just utilized, the Oracle scouting, kind of pressuring. He's not over-pushing. He knows he has to keep it alive. And he's gone into Phoenix in a very fast third.
Okay. Good job there. I actually didn't quite notice that it had actually been tagged.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, no, he's going to fly this in there, and then he just picks it up. So,
yeah, this third base is, it's very fast. You can absolutely do this with an Oracle opener, and he's going right into like a more quote-unquote normal tech while there's a third command center in the way, and he knows this. So, like, I like the place SOS has gotten himself into because KeeN is trying to play kind of a safe, steady macro play, but the third Nexus is so fast from SOS that he has a lead in that regard.
So the Phoenixes are out here just above the second base. Does he want to come in here and try to get the Raven? Now, there is a Widow Mine there. I was wondering about that. He might have not seen that. It's even with us not playing, it can kind of look at a glance like there's just an SCV that's there. So that was pretty bad, actually. Getting all those Phoenixes bruised. Phoenixes do die very quickly under Marines.
Oh, yeah, they do.
You really don't want them to lose any HP.
He's actually getting air weapons. So that's kind of neat. It could just be that he wants to stay on Phoenixes and he's going to make enough that he wants them for that. But SOS has been known in the past to do crazy things with carriers. And in fact, he kind of like somewhat invented Mass Adept Storm Tempest.
Yeah.
Which we hardly ever see in this matchup, but it is a usable composition. And he has actually won high-profile matches against great Terrans with it. So, I mean, there's a large variety of things that SOS could be going into here.
It's why he's so scary. It's why he's a 2-time world champion. He just knows what to. He knows so many little things that almost seem like trivia about what Protoss can and can't do.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That he has basically more tools at his disposal than pretty much any Protoss that we've had in StarCraft 2.
Now look at this. The Warp Prism coming in. He has a set of Adepts going up to the front as well. Glaves is finishing just as he's hitting here. And he has his Phoenixes falling around. If KeeN doesn't react perfectly, SOS is going to rip apart his economy.
All right, he's coming in now. Adepts are shooting forward. Meanwhile, Adepts also hitting over that location. Whoa, move command!
Yeah, that was a bit of a misclick, no doubt about that. A shade into this back, though. He's still killing a good amount of SCVs.
All right, he's going to try to shade over here. We'll see if KeeN can get an intercept on this. A lot of these Adepts being hit pretty hard. Now, already 18 SCVs have been killed. The Phoenixes are now going to come in here, and I got to say, this is such an insane harass here by SOS. Even though he's trading a lot of these Adepts, he's knocked the worker count right now to 40, while SOS is sitting at 63. And SOS still has Phoenixes, so it's not even like KeeN could push out just yet. Anyways,
this is what an interesting game this has been so far. By the way, I love the amount of Widow Mines that he's killed. We see a lot of people go for Adept Phoenix play, but he has been relentless in keeping his Oracle alive for tagging and utilizing the Phoenixes to kill off Widow Mines. Here even has an Observer in here, and if you don't have Widow Mines, suddenly Phoenix Adept. It's ridiculous.
It's not even that beatable because you need that splash damage from the mines to punish the Adepts. The Adepts are clunkier units. They're like the roaches for Protoss.
Yeah.
but having a good amount of splash that just hits them all at once can allow Stim Marine Marauder to do a ton of damage. But, I mean, I don't think we're ever going to have more than a handful of Widow Mines moving out. He could have had, a dozen at this point in time going with his army, but so many have been picked off so far.
He's killed at least 5-6 Widow Mines.
At least, yeah.
Like, right now he's still moving out with 3, so that goes to show you this would be so much scarier if he had a ton of Widow Mines in here, but look at that many Adepts. Oh, my God.
Oh, good scan, though.
SOS can crush this.
Oh, I think picking up there is a mistake. Well, I guess he didn't want to face off against that no matter what. He's going to try to get behind and defend here. And it looks like one medevac does go down with about half of the units still in it. Now, is he going to commit? There are 2 Widow Mines over here.
That is like a million shades coming in right now. He is just going to shade on top of this. The mines will connect. And in come these Phoenixes with their +1, lifting up a lot of Marauders here and some other stuff. Looks like he may have misclicked a few of them, but
I think that might be it. We have a drop over here, still doing a lot of damage. The Widow Mines are still in place.
Yeah, as these come back online, they're going to get very efficient against this smaller amount of bruised Adepts in here.
Okay, he's held this off, so back over to this side of the map. I think with the Phoenixes and the Adepts like this, you're just never going to get that critical mass of units.
Maybe. Like, one thing, though, that little counterattack by KeeN killed 20 probes. That's really sizable because SOS didn't keep making probes. He just made 3 base probes and stopped there.
It's also 43 to 23 as workers here.
True.
And I think with the warp in like this, I just don't see. Yeah, this should be GG. We're going to have to go to game 3, it looks like. SOS is just too strong. GG!
Wow, really cool game.
Coming back.
Yeah, I really liked this game because it was like a strategy that you see plenty. But a lot of times we'll see even top Protosses that fly in, get a little bit greedy with the Oracle, lose it. Whereas SOS was just like, no, I'm going to continually tag, I'm going to see where everything is, continue to make Phoenixes, and get damage done with those. And like the amount of mines he killed off, if you have 5-6 more mines there, KeeN doesn't get broken. No way.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Really nicely handled there by SOS. Again, he did not do anything standard for Protoss. He sent a probe out very early, stole a gas that went into that Phoenix of Death, but as Artos was saying, it wasn't just a strat, it was really the execution as well, keeping that Oracle alive, using the Phoenixes to shave down the Widow Mines.
Yeah, that's really cool.
You need to have a critical amount of those Widow Mines, or the Adepts just sit there, and the Phoenixes come in and pick up all the Marauders.
His understanding of StarCraft is just such a beautiful thing, Tasteless. He's
really
so flexible with what he can do. Because, KeeN didn't even have to have those Widow Mines at spot, but he saw it, he countered it, he won the game.
Let's do this, guys. Our 3rd game in this best of 3. SOS and KeeN are tied up. Which one will go to the winner's match? We're going to find out after this one. In the bottom right, in the blue, he is
Jin Air Green Wings, SOS.
in the upper left, in the red.
Team Lifei, KeeN.
All right. Abyssal Reef. We'll be interested to see what SOS has planned for this map, because if Terran gets a strong push off, like if you haven't done any damage to them or you don't meet them in the middle, they can siege up your natural or your third base very strongly. There's some really tight little chokes and interesting places to put tanks and liberators that are very hard to actually engage into as Protoss. So that kind of the mid-game area can be tough, whereas early and late are just kind of fine for Protoss, I guess, overall. Not that hard to block drops here. Once you get all your splash damage and stuff, you can do fine. But that mid-game, that's going to be somewhere where if SOS hasn't done something good, he can definitely get behind. And he's going one base.
Yeah. Keep in mind, guys, SOS is only going to be against Terrans today. We're really going to see the full unraveling of all the SOS PvT builds.
Yeah, that's true.
On all these maps.
He might have to play 9 PvTs
he might have to play 9 PvTs.
That's crazy.
And by the way, all these Terran players, it's one thing to say, well, these Terran players even had to be prepared against SOS, but it's another thing to say, well, you got to play against these possibly 3 different Terrans who all play differently, who all get to watch your games. To some extent, they're no doubt talking to each other backstage. Whoever's not playing SOS, since SOS is one of the players everybody else is hoping gets eliminated by somebody else.
Yeah. It's It's kind of wild. Well, here he's doing a build that's like, this is a pylon rush, most likely, that he's going to be going for, with the Mothership Core going immediately out and probably going to be sending out just an Oracle to continue harassment. So it's like not that out of the box, and especially with the placement of the Stargate, it's not, you know, like some people proxy this and make this an all-in, but he's already made his Nexus, you know, so this is a very economical version of this.
Yeah, this is not an all-in. This is actually pretty modest. Some pressure coming up here. Reaper does come in. Adept gets one shot off as the Reaper now rotates around. It looks like he might try to loop back out, and does.
All right, the bunker has already been started. He actually pops up, sees the bunker. Might want to make a pylon on the other side, further from the bunker, because that left pylon can be killed off with that.
Reaper over here on the right side, starting to hit some of these probes.
And he sees an Oracle is on the way. That's really important for KeeN. All right, here comes that Mothership Core.
Okay, but there's a Cyclone with this, and SCV's being pulled. Just trying to target that down as best he can. Looks like it's just barely going to survive that. Nicely done.
Yeah, he has that second overcharge, though, and he is going to town right now on these units. That was kind of a overextension by KeeN. I'm surprised he sat there and fired into the pylon for so long.
Okay, he also manages to get that Cyclone. The Oracle is headed northbound right now. I'm not sure how many Marines he has exactly, but
that's interesting. Like he ends up spending those units. I feel like targeting the bunker might not have been the greatest usage of this. Normally, you want to get the depots and then the reactor to kind of like hiccup the Terran in his production.
Right.
But I guess all that gets held, and he just kind of kills some units.
The Oracle comes up here. He's got to be careful of any Widow Mines. Now, he was pretty cautious in that last game, so I think if he does the same thing this time around in the game, he should be fine.
Widow Mine coming up to try to prevent this from occurring.
Whoa.
All right.
Just repairs that mule for a second. Okay, he's not going to take any shots there on the Oracle. Nicely done.
Multiple Void Rays popping out right now. Definitely the Void Ray has gained a lot of... okay, yeah, he's going to be doing a crazy tech. It's gained a lot of power in this matchup, just kind of being a little bit quicker. It outranges Widow Mines and whatnot. So very strong in the early game against Terran, and he is going to be going for a massive attack here. He's going to have 4 gates plus a couple Void Rays plus an Oracle for detection.
Did he
died.
He got it, right?
Yep.
Nice.
He lost it.
Well, he needed that.
Yeah, that's a really big moment.
There's already a Void Ray
KeeN.
that started. SOS is going to be blind in this game.
Dude, yeah, you need the Oracle, too. This is... Like, I don't think he can break this at all. I think he needs to back up and go into some sort of macro.
The problem is he has these Void Rays that are just... I mean, they have functionality at certain points in the game, but the Void Ray is not like a... it's not going to last you the whole game.
Yeah.
Me and my trusty 3 Void Rays stopping everything the other race is throwing at me.
Look at this. Widow Mine's in the path. He sets off the first one there very well with the probe. He knew that one was there because it killed the Oracle, but, like, if he had an Oracle right now with 100 energy, he would just clear Widow Mines and then, you know, start utilizing force fields and whatnot, but...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, this is going so poorly for him.
You know, I'm not even sure what a good follow-up is. This is a lot of gas he invested, everybody. I mean, these Void Rays... They need to be utilized and really just can't be because Protoss is in the dark.
Yeah, this is very much like Game 1. When you think about it, Tasis, like his Observer got caught in Game 1. His detection, so Widow Mines would kill him.
God.
And now his detection in the form of an Oracle got caught in Game 3.
Well, you know, something really smart that you said, Artos, is that SOS is probably better against the very, 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 very best in the world.
No.
Not even just like a top tier or GM player.
Yeah.
Because the mind games SOS plays are so advanced. The builds he's picking each consecutive game is so wise against somebody who would be so good. I think KeeN, in some ways, he should have played just a more basic game. You know? I mean, this is really bad.
No,
all these Adepts taken away, the Oracle gone, some Void Rays not in the game, and really not much utility as this game lasts longer and longer.
Like, his third base, he should not be able to keep alive here with these Marines coming up, I would say. And that's pretty rough. He has Glaives on the way. It's been started, which is nice, but his army overall is so small, and KeeN is really finding his stride with his production.
KeeN now pushing forward. Now keep in mind, KeeN has overextended when he's had a lead here. There are no medevacs with this.
Oh, he's got. Yeah, that's actually a very good point with no medevacs.
Whoa! All right, goes for that, but I think these adepts are going to shade on top here. And with these miscontrol.
Oh, the misclick.
Oh, the misclicks are so real here. Oh,
this
my
map
God.
has really weird terrain. I've definitely done that more than a few times.
It's really tough to path your units properly.
Yeah. That was a huge misclick.
I mean,
man.
Had he managed to shade, he could have taken out half of that army.
Yeah. Those were so stemmed that he was going to two-shot everything. Even without the glaives, the adepts would have traded pretty well. But now he gets away with 16 of them, which is pretty nice. He's got the medevacs out. He's got some siege tanks. And SOS has lost so many high-tech units. He's lost like 2 sentries, an Oracle, and 2 Void Rays for very little having been done with them. It's not like he killed 10 SCVs and then lost an Oracle, you know?
Marines are now coming out. KeeN is still interested in pushing here. This army much more sophisticated than the army we initially saw pushing there from KeeN, which was just Marines with about 3 stims that they could do before they had to turn around.
Dead.
Yeah, before they die. Imagine if you could actually stim until they're dead.
That would be so funny. Oh
you just micro-insert, you stim and all of them die. Medevacs didn't have any energy. You're like, oh man, Terran is so hard.
Yeah.
Well, Terran's going to be able to push from here.
Yeah, this is one of those areas for the mid-game that I was talking about where it gets like highly annoying trying to deal with Protoss. Look at this. He's setting up a bunker, a missile turret. Very good stuff. But hey, that proxy pylon's still up. I hadn't noticed that, actually.
Oh my God, this Warp Prism goes down.
Oof.
Now, the proxy pylon helps, but just losing that Warp Prism alone, it does deplete a lot of the possible options that were available here.
And this push, too, like this is not a place that's going to be efficient to break through at all, especially with a mostly adept-based army.
I like that the siege tank's on top of the Widow Mine.
Yeah. Look at that, Tasteless. Ugh.
Yeah.
This is that hard mid-game now. I mean, SOS is getting some splash damage, so I don't want to call him out of this game quite yet, especially with this many adepts coming up.
Yeah.
This could do some solid damage.
There was a blind spot on the outside of KeeN's base. I think he's not fully cognizant of how much of a threat he might actually be under. Obviously, it's quite exciting to be pushing a location like this, but this is just a few mineral patches denied, at least for now. But a big counterattack could really wipe him out.
Yeah, he's actually going ahead and fighting head-to-head against this army, trying to shade on top of it as well. He wants to get massive damage done here, but he's got to kill off these units. That's a good run back by KeeN. He stims, brings up his SCVs as well, and it looks like these adepts will be held for now.
Yeah, a few more SCVs are sent down here. Looks like it's 11 SCV kills to the 15 over here in the Terran, rather the Protoss is natural.
And that is just 2 base economy right now for KeeN. KeeN's starting to move up right now. The Colossus starting to walk down the ramp there. Massive shade for it. He still can't break this area. Widow Mine, Siege Tanks, Bunkers. Those are 3 things that adepts don't really like to fight against.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the right angle for Protoss to actually come out and engage this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Sit tight, guys.
Oh, we got it back.
I think we got the game back up, but it's not on our screen yet. Did it go out on the audience's screen?
I think we lost the observer PC, so this might be like JYP's computer or something. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. So if you guys are seeing what we're seeing, you're seeing a black screen.
No.
But wait.
No, it's back.
Oh, is it back? So,
yeah,
it's okay.
I'm not sure who's doing the observer.
Hey, Monstein, my monitor is out over here, so we might need to get that
That's
fixed.
the observer PC as well.
Oh, that's it. Okay. All right, got it. Anyways, this attack is... Well, I don't know what happened just there because our screen had gone out for a minute, but we're back here now.
Yeah,
so.
This attack by KeeN is going to... Well, he's broken down those rocks, and now he's coming up the ramp. That is 2 Colossus and a ton of adepts on top of all these Marines. The Widow Mine's starting to burrow, though, and as those hit, this is going to get thinned out very quickly.
Terran continues to push forward. The Colossi with nothing to cover them here. I think KeeN may have pulled it off. However, these adepts are still coming out doing so much damage. 22 SCVs to 42 probes here, but the push is not stopping on either side.
Certainly a crazy one right now. He might have a single overcharge left over, but oh, that pylon Tasus is powering so many buildings.
Oh! Lights out over here for SOS, but still, SOS on top of the barracks, killing everything that's spawning out.
Oh, God.
Enough medevacs to heal here. This game has become an all-out slugfest. It's going to be whoever bleeds out first.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. He can't even really warp in many units. He has so few gateways that are powered right now. I think he has maybe a couple at the third base and one forward.
You know, the fact that he unpowered the gateways is so oh my God, this game might be like a base trade or something.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, I think it comes down to fighting the actual armies against each other right now. There's no overcharges left, so he has to wait a little bit to really defend this area well. KeeN's starting to target Nexuses. He might be going for some sort of draw. I think his Void Rays are very good against floating buildings.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh my God, the SCV's all isolated down here. KeeN running out of money. SOS may be able to pull this off anyways. Now 16 kills there, basically for free. So KeeN is still able to produce out of all of his buildings, but doesn't quite have that much money. He now has 3 workers, so
yeah, that's pretty.
It's really slowed him down to the 31 probes right now for SOS. SOS was unpowered at those gateways, but certainly 31 probes can get the minerals necessary to remake all that.
Yeah, he'll be able to actually get his production back online here, whereas, you know, KeeN here, yeah, mules are pretty good, but they're not that good. 3 SCVs, 4 mules, ouch. And the thing is, can he even continue to attack? Because if any adepts come in and kill mules, that's the end of the economy. There's nothing left.
Yeah, that's true. So he's going to go for a big drop. KeeN has to pull this off, and there's not much time left in this game. Will the Adepts be pulled back here? SOS might need every bit of his army in order to engage this. What is it, 2 medevacs with that?
Yeah,
I think 6
so.
on the map. I only see 2 in that army.
Liberators could be a big issue. In fact, he's targeting down those Void Rays with his Marines as best he can. In fact, they're taking additional damage trying to kill the Void Rays. Only 1 gets killed.
The Void Ray remains. Too many Adepts pushing forward. No way for... Oh, my God, he picks up. Backing up now. I think SOS has actually won this game.
Yeah, I think
he's
you're right.
just got enough. This was such a crazy end.
He has squeezed this one out, Tasis. The beginning of this game was a train wreck for SOS.
Well, you know, the thing about SOS is we've always said he can really think on his feet. I mean, he's truly a special player. But hold up, KeeN comes in now, tries to take out some more workers. He's going to have to pick up and escape. Nice play by KeeN. He's still trying every little bit he has inside of himself to keep this game going. But again, the real story is the 3 SCVs back here for Terran.
Yeah, his economy is just too shattered.
Yeah.
You know, if he hadn't lost all those SCVs, this game would be over by now. But his production is almost nil. Like, he needs the Widow Mine to get, like, the most unbelievable
Get all of the Adepts perfectly.
Yeah.
And every Terran unit like that Liberator that's picked off, that unit is not going to be back in the game for a while. And, you know, whenever Protoss is having to deal with Terran attacking in like this, there's, of course, the risk that Terran's taking, which SOS knows, and that's that he might end up having a bad trade. Eventually, there's just going to be enough Protoss units he can push across the map. But here we go, 7 more kills. Now 23 probes to 6 workers, 6 SCVs.
Oh, yeah, look at that. He's doubled in number and reduced some of his opponents. But there's more medevacs than units right now in this harassment force. He did land his main command center at the 3rd base and is, like, trying to rebuild his economy, but look at how many Adepts are here.
Yeah, well, I think that, you know, the harass was scary, but now there's just literally nothing here. And, you know, Adepts, when they're upgraded like this, they actually can take a fight one-on-one against a lot of different kinds of units. But hold on. Terran with a sizable army. Did SOS overextend with his army up there? Is there enough to defend back here? The Void Ray goes down. More Adepts coming here from behind. But this army for Protoss is only strong when it's grouped together.
This is kind of crazy. Unpowering a lot of these gateways once again. So many in-control pylons being taken out. And he's losing a lot of his buildings at home as well. But the thing is, his economy is so bad, it almost doesn't even matter. KeeN kind of needs to win with what he has left.
KeeN might be able to do it, man.
He might.
He might. I mean, again, the Protoss had the army that could have faced this, but it needed to stick together.
Yeah, like he had enough Adepts to wipe this, but right now with this type of micro coming out of KeeN, and these are like, that's a lot of Marauders mixed in there. Adepts do not kill those so fast. Only 1 Void Ray left over.
I think KeeN's just won this.
He might have.
This is so well done.
So wide. I feel like he needs to leave like 2 Adepts here and just kill off SCVs nonstop. And
I think that's what he should have done this entire time, was just have 1 to 2 Adepts, not like 5 or 6 moving out there.
Yeah. Just needs a few more units in here, and now he's going to start losing all his nexuses.
So-
This is going to leave him only with his third base.
And if he loses that nexus, there's no way he can remake anything. He doesn't. Well, he has forward minerals now, but he might not when that attack happens. This is actually
That's a perfect kill.
super important.
Yeah, and now the 2 gateways can only make Zealots, and Zealots against Marauders.
It's not going to help.
Like
Yeah.
when KeeN has nothing to do right now but micro. It's
Yeah,
not like
I mean,
he's
it's-
managing an economy. He's playing like we were talking about RTSs without economy management. That's what KeeN is playing right now.
Yeah, he's in one of those StarCraft single-player missions where you don't have a base, or you have a few buildings, but you're not actually like producing out of
It's
it.
just you take Jim Raynor and you go through like the labyrinth of the Terran base that Mengsk owns to steal the data disk or something.
He's hoping he can free some captured Terrans. There's no captured Terrans here. And look at the placement here. This is so funny.
This is
he
some
has
good
a
stuff
high
from
ground position. This is so funny, man.
Oh, look what KeeN has actually bought with the few dollars he could scrape together, Tasteless. This is really cool. He's like bought a couple Liberators to completely cover the mineral line. So he's actually continuing to mine, which means that he gets a little bit. And in fact, his mining is better because he has mules. There's not many patches even left at the third base.
Protoss is coming down here. I don't think that he has enough. This army getting annihilated. And KeeN is going to win this game.
Oh, man.
Unbelievable. KeeN is the Protoss killer so far for this season.
Yeah, this Void Ray has a lot of heavy lifting if SOS is to come back, but it doesn't look like it'll be possible.
Those
KeeN
adepts
just
finally
crushing.
turn around. Yeah, I don't think he can come back. Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't think so. Like, SOS has to kill, like, all the units. He doesn't have production, right? He has 2 gateways. He's just now making his Cybernetics core again.
Yeah, I mean, you're totally right. The lack of gateways there for SOS is huge.
Yeah.
We did see KeeN come back from having only 3 SCVs, guys. Now he's back to 11.
Whoa.
Whereas
that's a
SOS
huge
has
growth.
10. But
Yeah.
KeeN, of course, could still make units.
Yeah, his army is actually being refilled. Look at this. He's got 11 Marines, 6 Marauders. That beats 12 Adepts and a Void Ray.
This is a great game.
Yeah, this was a
This
crazy
is a really
one.
good game.
Very scrappy stuff back and forth, which is an area that SOS is amazing in. Like, I thought he was dead several times already this game, but he has really held on and made it into something worthwhile. But, I mean, look at this army coming in from KeeN right now. It's too much.
Yeah. Well, with the Widow Mines here as well, I mean, the Adepts have been sort of the backbone for a lot of these fights here for SOS. There's no real way to contest this. Liberators now coming down here. Is this the point in time where we get to see the Protoss actually break KeeN? Wow, KeeN 2-1's SOS.
All right.
Is there a Protoss that actually can stop this guy? I think some of us were chalking it up as a fluke.
Well,
When he did so well against Zest, and now here he is doing the same thing against SOS.
yeah, you know, here's the thing. His play, his micro isn't as flashy as Beyond's or Maru's. His macro isn't as great as Innovations. His strategic tactics aren't as good as TY's, but he's a well-rounded, he's like a jack of all Terrans. He's like, you know, he just kind of has like a good range of stuff he can do. He's a strong player, and I mean, there he is taking out SOS. And as I said, I feel like he almost has a better chance against SOS than players that we consider to be better than he is, if that makes sense. Yeah.
KeeN is doing it. He's going to go to the winner's match. We will take a short break now, and when we return, our second best of 3 in today's GSL Code S.